When it comes to the comic shop, ultimately it's a movie that's just a reminder that you need to put the utmost importance in finding your people. Let's summarize the film. At one time, Mike wanted to be a comic illustrator, maybe create his own comic books, but after a certain point in life of not hitting it big, his dreams led to him trying to be practical, yet still somehow be connected to the industry. So he decided to open up his own comic book store. And rather than just focus on the Marvels and the DCs, he also focused very much on indie talent and even showcased a little bit of his artwork in the shop as well. And for a good couple of years, he made decent money, even to the point of hiring a young woman named Alex to work with him. But between the pandemic and the rise of digital media, it seems like his comic shop has seen better days, and at this point, it's starting to seem like he may have to go out of business. Into Brandon, who's a young man who just moved to North Vegas, who kind of gives Mike's comic shop a potential last hurrah, if not a means to save itself. And there is hope that between Brandon's knowledge of web design, Alex's commitment, at least to Mike, if not the comic shop, maybe Mike can turn this around. But with this guy named Chad open up a mega comic book store, which has not only Marvel, DC, Star Wars, but a huge swath of comics that are major hit players, it's hard to say whether or not Mike's comic shop may make it. So getting to the highlights of the film, it's definitely going to be Mike and Brandon's pursuit of a dream. Brandon's a young kid, teenager, before college, and he does not have the support of his father. And while his mother does support him, it seems like his mother doesn't make financial decisions in the household, so he needs to get his father's approval. And not having that, you see, kind of messes with him a little bit, on top of the fact that him and his father are very different in terms of his father being a military man, very much into sports, while Brandon is almost squarely into comics and drawing comics. So when it comes to meeting Mike, beyond being a mentor, he also sees himself in him a little bit. And with Mike's relationship to Brandon, you kind of get a sense that this kid who's impressed by his work, who wants to be around him, it kind of reminds him why he got in the industry in the first place, and also kind of pushes him to really get back to what he loves doing rather than focus on selling what other people love making. And just watching this dynamic play out is very sweet in a way, and I would say is one of the driving forces of what can get you hooked when it comes to the comic shop. Unfortunately though, on the fence is Chad and this whole mega comic book store thing, and it's mainly because Chad is a tool. On top of being someone who lives off of his dad's money, the way he kind of ogles at Alex and talks to her is very creepy and almost makes you think that when it comes to making this, Alex was more so presented as, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this that doesn't sound potentially misogynistic, but it does sometimes feel at times that Alex was presented to be someone who's attractive that could be used for marketing or maybe for the trailer to get people interested, rather than being a fully fleshed out character. For as much as you understand that Alex has interest in comics and stuff like that, they don't really build upon that. They also don't build upon how Alex is able to seemingly live on her own despite working at a comic book store, maybe part-time. Like, there's a lot of questions left with her, to the point that that's why we feel like it's an undeveloped character, so that when you see Chad ogling at her and saying things that rough an eyebrow, it really pushes the idea that there wasn't a lot really thought about when it comes to this character, and Chad just really pushes that point home. But despite some of the issues we have with Chad and the connection with how Alex is presented, I would say the heart of the comic shop still is very much strong enough to get you interested in the film. And while I wouldn't say this is something to get outright through either renting or buying, if you can find it on Tubi, another free streaming service, or even one that you already subscribe to, it's worth putting on your watch list and checking out once you have the time.